Okay, I'm going ahead with the lecture because I'm not very sure if students will turn up since they're in the middle of the exams. If they like, I'm posting my lectures anyway on uh, YouTube, which is open, and I'm posting it as visible for everyone so people can check those the lecture there. There isn't much time to keep waiting for people. I have to finish the syllabus. Uh, Namm Alvar is what we are doing. This is a bit of a zigzagging of the syllabus. We have come with the previous person who was uh, Pandit. Uh, like I said in that lecture, there is no Pandita, it has later on been created. We talked about her, who was a 19th and 20th century phenomenon. She was not somebody from the medieval or ancient period. It's very much from the very modern period. Now, in the fifth unit, we jump backwards again and we're going into the Bhakti movement and specifically Namm Alvar. Now, I really do not know why Namm Alvar has been chosen from among the all the Alvars. Uh, but since Namm Alvar has been chosen, I guess I will have to teach Namm Alvar. Uh, some people say that Namm Alvar was born somewhere around 798 CE, which is Common Era. Uh, but one doesn't know for sure if he was born on that particular date, because there is also another claim which says that he was born in the 3rd century BCE, that is before Common Era, or what was previously called before Christ. So there can't be such a big gap. Uh, so I would say that even if 798 CE is not really the correct date, we are probably closer to his real birth with 798 CE rather than with the idea that he was in the 3rd century BCE. Uh, Now, this date obviously has been done by philologists, and like I keep repeating, philologists are those who study both spoken word and published uh, or written words. Um, Nammalvar, there are two spellings because Alvar is actually a title. Uh, I'll just take a little break. There is something urgent to attend. बड़े अम्मा से मलिके सो एक पेपर है वो लेके आई। उसका कॉपी कहाँ है? इसमें डाल के उनको देख ले, बोलो उनको बता देना इसके अलावा मेरे पास और कोई कागजात नहीं है, ये कागज के अलावा और कोई नहीं है। नहीं नहीं, उनको बोलिए। हाँ, और नहीं है, कोई है। हाँ, आप उनके पास जाके दे दीजिए। हाँ हाँ। My apologies. This is a deadline that had to be met. My father's been gone for a year and a half almost, and still things don't get done. And that's where life is, I suppose. Yeah, so the, Namm Alvar is actually his name, though people call him Namm Alvar. Alvars are actually those who are a part of the Vaishnava Bhakti movement, and the name Alvar basically means that it is a person who's plunged into the ocean of countless attributes of the Brahman or the Brahmanda. Okay, which basically means that one is talking about one who has plunged into life as such, because as far as the ancient Indians are concerned, the Brahman or the Brahmanda is a living system, and hence it is necessary to note that the plunging into the ocean is not a literal plunging. It is a metaphor for getting into life and trying to understand what life is. And the Vaishnava tradition, to which the Alvars belong, uh, actually says Vishnu is the all permeating spirit. Vishnu is the all permeating spirit, and this particular spirit uh, is something that the Vaishnavites basically worship. So the Alvars were from the Vaishnava tradition, and so Vishnu, so they go into all the uh, avatars of Vishnu. Also, they are also they do uh, um, pray to the avatars, and most of the Alvars are actually Tamilians. Now there are supposed to be 12 Alvars originally. Later on, there are a number of Alvars. They now go into, I don't know, maybe into thousands. And these Alvars are maintaining the tradition that was that was started by these 12 Alvars, the original 12. And it's a reformist movement, and you will soon see as I proceed with the lecture, you will soon see as to why I am saying that the Alvars are those people who will who are um, mm, socially very forward. Anyway, so when we come to Namm Alvar, as usual, there are all kinds of stories about it. One doesn't know who exactly uh, his father and mother were. He's supposed to have been uh, born in Alvar Tirunagari, and this is a place of Alvars. That is what it means, and it's somewhere in Tamil Nadu of today. And it is believed that Nammalvar, after his birth, did not speak, didn't speak at all. He is supposed to have sat under a tamarind tree. What is unclear is if he sat there as a child or if he sat there as an adult. That is not clear. But what the legend says is that he sat under a tamarind tree in Alvar Tirunagari, and he exuded light, a halo, not just a halo behind the head, but from the entire body. And this particular light could be seen at a great distance. And it was first seen by another Alvar whose name is Madhura Kavi. Some people say he's a Telugu, but that is not established. Madhura Kavi Alvar is the one who's supposed to have seen this light and followed in the direction of the light, and he reached the tree. And at that time, Namm Alvar spoke for the first time in his life. He spoke to Madhura Kavi Alvar. Uh, the spoken words of um, Namm Alvar were compiled by Madhura Kavi Alvar into 4 different works. The first of this works is called Tiruvai Moli. Mozhi is not pronounced Moli, but it is pronounced Mori. So it was Tiruvai Mori that uh, is the first uh, work that Madhura Kavi Alvar compiled of Nammalvars, and it has in it 1102 verses. So the Alvars were also singers. They're basically singers. So song is very much a part of Alvars. So 1102 verses is what made the Tiruvai Mori Mozhi. Okay. And then the second work that was compiled by Madhura Kavi Alvar of Nammalvars is the Tiruviruttan. The Tiruviruttan comprises of 100 verses, much smaller work. And the third version is that which is called Tiru Asiriyam. Asiriyam. Tiru Asiriyam. And this one is the smallest. It has only 7 verses. And the fourth verse is called the Periya Tiruvantari. Periya Tiruvantali, and it has 87 verses. Now, if you do the maths here, you will find that the number of works that, number of verses, I'm sorry, that have been compiled totally under this particular section comes to 1294. If you take all the 4 works, the total number of verses is 1294. These works, or rather, these works of Nammalvar are seen as an integral part of the philosophy of Vaishnavism. It's seen as an very, very integral part of Vaishnavism and the Vaishnava tradition. The works of all the Alvars, the original 12 Alvars, are basically compiled, they are put together under the title Nalariya Divya Prabandham. Nalariya Divya Prabandham. And there are 108 temples which the Alvars have classified as Divya Desam, which is a godly place. And the works of the Alvars themselves are seen as Nalariya Divya Prabandhanam, meaning those are the wisdom of God itself. That is what it gets roughly translated. Now there is an interesting piece of statistic here, which says that there are about 4,000 verses in the Nalariya Divya Prabandhanam, and the biggest contribution to this Nalariya Divya Prabandhanam has come from Namm Alvar, as those were compiled by Madhura Kavi, and it claims they are 1,352 in number. Whereas if you go by the number of verses that we counted uh, as compiled by Madhura Kavi, they are only 1,294. So there are these extra works that have been attributed to Namm Alvar, which probably means that with time there have been some interpolations, and therefore the figure went up from 1,294 to 1,352. Now, among the 108 temples that have been identified by the Alvars as Divya Desam, there is Navatirupati, uh, which is the most important uh, part of these 108 temples. All 108 temples are Divya Desam. They are definitely godly. But even in this godly, there is a Navatirupati. Now, please understand here that Tirupati is not the Tirupati that we are talking about, the one that is in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, the Tirupati, I had once told you that it Tiru is instead of Sri. Okay, Sri is, or Shri actually, is how it is used in Sanskrit. In Tamil, it is Tiru. Some people write it with a THI, some people write it as TI. So Tirupati is Vishnu actually, because Shri is Lakshmi, Tiru is also Lakshmi, and her husband is supposed to be Vishnu. So Navatirupati are not new. Nava we think is a new thing. That's not the interpretation. The interpretation is the Nava is 9. Like you say, Nava Grahas. There are 9 Grahas as far as Hindu cosmology is concerned. So this is Navatirupati is 9 temples within the 108. Okay, and the area in which these Navatirupati temples are is called Thoothukudi, ThoothuKudi. That is the geographical name uh, given to these 9 temples, which are all located in this particular geographical space, which is called Thoothukudi. Uh, Nammalvar, for some reason, enjoys a greater status than the other Alvars who came before him, and again some who came after him. Uh, you will see that the Garuda Sevai, which is nothing but Garuda Seva. In Tamil, it is I is written. Like for example, we say Tirumala for the uh, uh, temple on of Venkateshwara, they say Tirumalai. Okay, we say Nalla Mala forest, they say Nalla Malai. So that is Tamil. So the Garuda Sevai is the Seva performed to Garuda, who is supposed to be a Vahana of Vishnu. And these are performed, the Garuda Sevai is regularly performed in the Nava Tirupati temples, these 9 temples. And each time it is performed, it is dedicated to Nammalvar. Nammalvar is the one who is dedicated, this is dedicated to. And then there is a Parayana. Parayana is recitation of a sort, but it is singing. Okay, a recitation can also be without singing. Parayana is usually done through song. And the verses of Nammalvar are a part of the daily Parayana of these Navatirupati temples. It's a daily prayer that they do. It is uh, apart from the Garuda Sevai, uh, which is dedicated to uh, Nammalvar, we also see that during the period which is called Vaikuntha Ekadasi. Uh, Ekadasi is the first day after, it's in the lunar calendar. There are 14 days and 14 plus 14. So Ekadasi is the 11th day. Vaikuntha Ekadasi comes once in a year, and it is considered to be an extremely auspicious day. Even in Tirupati, Tirumala temple of Lord Venkateshwara, on the day of Vaikuntha Ekadasi, they open a different door, which is called the Vaikuntha Dwaram, to the Garbha Gudi, or the central temple. They basically open that on that day. But in a temple in Sri Rangam, we find that there is um, a performance of this particular seva, which is called Arayar Sevai. Arayar Sevai is a Tamil art form which is centered around singing and carrying of the Utsava Vigrahas. The main temple Vigraha is called the Mula Virat, or sometimes Mula Vigraha. Utsava Vigraha are those that you take around normally within the temple compound. It is also done during Brahmotsavams in Tirupati. And in the Sri Rangam temple, where the Arayar Sevai is performed on the Vaikuntha Ekadasi day, uh, there is a dedication of this seva to Nammalvar. Okay. Uh, the Tirumala temple is also considered to be not a, I'm sorry, considered to be an Alvar temple. Uh, but people say that in Tirupati, they only sing songs of the Brahmin Alvars. I do not know if this is true. It is something that needs to be checked up, and I don't know where to start looking for it. Okay. Now, when I say that these are supposed to be singing of the verses of the Brahmin Alvars, then it also means that there are non-Brahmin Alvars. And that is why one will say that this is a reformist movement. Okay, it is not something that is the exclusive domain of the Brahmins. In fact, of the 12 initial Alvars that we talk about, uh, the first three are supposed to have been born miraculously, and therefore they have no caste. They have no varna attached to them. These three Alvars, whose birth is considered a miracle, are named Poigai Alvar, Poigai, Poigai Alvar. The second Alvar is the whose name is Bhutat Alvar. Okay, he is the second, and the third one is Pei Alvar, Pey, Pei Alvar. Bhutat is Bhoothat. So Poigai Alvar, Bhutat Alvar, and Pei Alvar are Alvars who are uh, supposed to be miraculously born, and therefore they have no caste at all. Now, the fourth Alvar, his name is Tirumali Sai. Okay, and he was the son of a rishi. So he's considered to be the first Brahmin Alvar because he was the son of a rishi. He was considered to be the first Brahmin Alvar. His name is Tirumali Sai. Okay, then the next Alvar is Tondaradipuddi Alvar. Thondaraddi. Tondaradi Poddi. Poddi Alvar. Tondaradi Poddi Alvar. He's the fifth Alvar. The sixth Alvar is Madhurakavi Alvar, about whom I have spoken to you. Then the seventh Alvar is Periya Alvar. Periya. Periya Alvar. He's the seventh Alvar. And the eighth Alvar is the only Alvar who's a lady. Her original name is supposed to be Andal, but people also call her Goda Devi, and some people say her full name is uh, Andal Goda Devi. If you go to Tirupati and Tirumala, you will find that there is a temple dedicated to Goda Devi. It is this lady, the Alvar. Uh, these from these 4 to 8, the eighth one, these are all Brahmin Alvars. The first three don't have a caste. The next five are Brahmin Alvars. The ninth one, who is called Kula Shekhara Alvar, is a Kshatriya. The 10th Alvar is Namm Alvar. the one we are talking about, Namm Alvar, he belonged to the Vellalar Varna, or I don't think you can apply the Chaturvarna to the South Indians. I think that's a big mistake that people make. Vellalars were agriculturists, basically. Okay. And they will be called Kapus, generically, as they are called in Telugu, those who took care of agriculture. These people were later on incorporated into various different castes. But originally, these castes, like I said the other day, Devendrans, Vellars, Kallars, they don't really fit into the Chaturvarna or the Jati system at all. So one should remember that. So the 10th Alvar is Namm Alvar, and he's the first of the non-Brahmin Alvars. Then the 11th Alvar is Tiruppan, Tirupaan, Tiruppan Alvar. He belonged to the Panar Varna, if you want to call it, or Panar sect. I would like to use that, which has now been pushed into the category of untouchables. The Panars exist even today in Tamil Nadu, and they are a part of the untouchables. But uh, Tiruppan Alvar, one of the first 12 Alvars, belonged to this particular sect. And then you have Tirumangai Alvar. Tirumangai Alvar was a Kallar. Okay. Uh, Kallar in Tamil, I have tried to find out. It means many things. It means a thief, it means a landlord. Okay. But the consensus seems to be that it's a toddy tapper. That seems to be the consensus around this Kallar. So these are the 12 Alvars. Now, what we need to remember is that these 12 Alvars are those who are supposed to be amshas of either Vishnu himself or those other objects and living creatures that are there around uh, Vishnu. So the various Alvars are actually considered the 12 Alvars, not various, the 12 original Alvars, because there are Alvars even today, unlike in the Shaiva movement where there are only 63 Nayanars and no more. Okay, but in the Alvars, it continues today. And you will see that these 12 are considered as avatars. So Poigai Alvar is supposed to be the incarnation of the Panchajanya. Panchajanya is a conch that Krishna used. Uh, in fact, the Kurukshetra war started with the blowing of the Panchajanya conch by Sri Krishna. So Poigai Alvar is considered to be an incarnation of the Panchajanya. Then Bhutat Alvar is considered to be an incarnation of the Kaumadaka, Kaumudaka. Kaumadaka is the mace or gada, as they say in Telugu. mace or gada of Vishnu. That is called Kaumadaka, and Bhutat Alvar was incarnation of that. Pai or Pai Alvar is Nandaka's incarnation. Nandaka is the name of the sword, SWORD, sword that was used that belonged to Vishnu. So these three are the Panchajanya, Kaumadaka, and the Nandaka. The fourth Alvar, Tirumalasai Alvar, is supposed to be a reincarnation of the Sudarshana Chakra. Sudarshana Chakra is associated both directly with Vishnu and also with Krishna. Krishna is supposed to have killed Shishupala. If you read the Bhagavata, which is the story of Krishna, he's supposed to have killed Shishupala by using the Sudarshana Chakra. Okay, so the Sudarshana Chakra is uh, uh, there both for Vishnu and for Krishna, and Krishna is Vishnu's avatar anyway. So Tirumalai Sai Alvar is Sudarshana Chakra is incarnation. Then Namm Alvar is uh, essentially considered to be uh, the reincarnation of Vishwaka Sena. Vishwaka, actually, it should be pronounced Vishwaka Sena, who is Vishnu's commander. Okay, Vishnu's commander is supposed to be named Vishwaka Sena. Vishnu's commander is the army that Vishnu has. This is a little confusing because we don't know what army Vishnu had. Okay, but anyway, this is this is that gray area which I do not know about. I have not specialized in all these. My specialization is Western political thought, not this. Anyway, so this is one thing. Then we have Madhura Kavi Alvar, who is supposed to be the reincarnation of Vainatheya, Vainethea. Vainatheya is also supposed to be the name given to Garuda. One of the names of Garuda is also Vainatheya. So, but Madhura Kavi Alvar is considered to be, people don't use Garuda in his case, they use Vainatheya. You'll soon understand why. And then the seventh one is Kulashekara Alvar. Kulashekara Alvar is an incarnation of the Kaustubha, Kaustabha, Kaustubha, which is one of the necklaces that Vishnu wore. Okay, that is called Kaustubha, and that is uh, supposed to be uh, how Kulashekara Alvar came into being. Then you have the Periya Alvar. Periya Alvar is called the incarnation of Garuda. So now you understand why Madhura Kavi is called Vainatheya incarnate, and why Periya Alvar is called Garuda, because they both seem to have the same source. So that is one. And Andal or Godadevi Alvar is supposed to be Bhudevi. Okay, Bhudevi or Lakshmi, who is Vishnu's wife. Funnily enough, if you actually go to Tirupati, you will see that Lord Venkateshwara has two consorts. One of them is Sri Devi and the other one is Bhudevi. Okay, so the Venkateshwara temple is also, the legend says that it was constructed by gods, but the reality perhaps is that it was constructed by the Alvars. And that is why it also got that Tirupati, Tirumalai, those names. And so Andal Goda Devi Alvar is considered to be the reincarnation of Bhudevi. And Tondarapuddi Alvar, whom I had talked about, uh, he is called Vanamalai incarnate. Vanamalai, not Vanamalai, I'm sorry, Vanamalai, which is another garland, Vanamala in Telugu. This is Vanamalai in Tamil, and so it is another garland that Vishnu wore. And Tiruppan Alvar is actually supposed to be the incarnation of Srivatsa, uh, who is, or rather, which is, Srivatsa is a mark on the chest of Vishnu. Vishnu is supposed to have a mark, which is an auspicious mark on his chest. That is called Srivatsa. And he, Tiruppan, is supposed to be the incarnation of that particular auspicious mark called Srivatsa. Then the final one is Tirumangai Alvar. Tirumangai Alvar is supposed to be the incarnation of Saranga. Saranga is the name of the bow, B-O-W, bow that Vishnu has. So these are all the Alvars. And if you see today, you will see that there are Alvars all over today. And you have the head of the Tirupati temple, who's called a Jiyar. Even in the Navatirupati area, there are Jiyars. Here in Tirupati temple, he's called Pedda Jiyar. And we have the Chinna Jiyar, who's also called Tridanda Ramanuja Jiyar. There are maybe a couple of other names in that. He's also an Alvar. So today there are number of Alvars. Okay, unlike in the case of the Shaiva Bhakti movement, where it was only 63 Nayanars. Okay, and the Alvars brought singing, and it is the Alvars who are credited with the Bhakti movement. They are credited with social reform, and that you can see from the fact that non-Brahmins were there. And you will also see that even today, a number of sevas that are architas and sevas that are performed even in the Tirupati and the Tirumala temples and any TTD temple. I've got one right behind me. They sing these songs, and I'm very sorry to say that the people who sing those songs here sing them very horribly. They're anything but melodious. But anyway, that's their problem. It's my problem too, because they do it on a loudspeaker. But the Alvars were definitely people who believed in social reform, and they also are considered to be the inspiration for the Sufi movement that came later on. But before we go to the Sufi movement, in the next class, which will be on Tuesday, where I guess nobody will attend again, I will be talking about Ravidas, and that'll again mean some kind of moving up and down arbitrarily in history. My apologies for that break in the middle, but that is something that had to be done because it is a thing that was given as an income tax thing, and I don't want to go to jail. That was my father's income tax thing unresolved. They needed some documents which I had to sign. So I hope you'll excuse me for that. It is extremely unprofessional, but like I said, it had to be done at that moment because it was something that couldn't wait. And I profusely apologize for that. Thank you very much.